Hey friends, can you finish a month's worth of work in just one day? I want you to comment and let me know whether you think it's possible or not. But before that, hold on, listen to what I have to say first. I read in a book once, where an author talks about Elon Musk. You must have heard of him. He runs so many companies, does so many things. The author explains why Elon Musk is able to accomplish so many things. One reason behind it is that he gives himself ridiculous deadlines. For example, if there's a task that would normally take a week to complete, Elon Musk thinks about how it could be done in just half an hour. And because he sets such ridiculous deadlines for himself, what happens as a result? Maybe he doesn't finish the task that normally takes a week in half an hour, or even an hour, but at least he gets it done in a day. And this is the mindset you need to adopt, which won't be easy. But trust me, today's video will definitely multiply your productivity by 10 or even 100 times if you understand and apply everything discussed in the video properly. But before that, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to Cashcraft. I'll keep bringing you interesting insights from books and mentors that will help you grow in your life. Now let's start. There was a man named Sean who was very troubled in his life because he had big dreams. He wanted to accomplish big things in life, but the problem was that he couldn't get anything done. His biggest issues were laziness and procrastination. He would set goals many times, but he couldn't achieve them. One day, he was sharing his pain and struggles with a friend. That's when Sean learned about a doctor whom people called Dr. Book. Now, this Dr. Book had learned a lot of amazing things from various books and mentors in his life. Instead of prescribing medicine to cure people's ailments, he would recommend books and share insights from them. Because of this, many patients had improved their lives. They had resolved their problems. Now, Sean's friend told him many good things about Dr. Book, which made Sean very excited. He said, "I need to meet this doctor too." He got the doctor's number from his friend. But when he tried to book an appointment, he was given a time slot for 1 month later. Sean found this a bit frustrating. His friend explained, "Look, this doctor is really good. He usually doesn't give time easily, but if he does, he will give you a solution to your problem for sure." Understanding this and realizing the high demand for the doctor, Sean calmed down, showed some patience and said, "That's fine. If it takes a month, so be it. But I will definitely learn from him." A month passes by and finally it's time for his appointment. Sean goes to the doctor and starts sharing his pain and struggles with him. He begins to explain how he has a lot of ambition in life and wants to achieve so much, but he gets distracted very easily. Despite trying hard, he isn't able to work on his life or grow as a person. Sean shares how he has a dream of writing a book, but for several months he hasn't been able to make any progress on it. Hearing this, the doctor smiles and tells him about a study. The doctor says, "Do you know, Sean, I recently read a study in a book that explained how maximum people, despite their best efforts, nowadays people can only focus on work for about 11 minutes before getting distracted. It often takes people 25 minutes or even more to get back to that focus. This means that even when people say they work for 8 hours, in reality, they don't work effectively for even 2 hours. And this problem isn't just yours, it's something many people face." Now Sean responds, "Yes, doctor, you're right. I try very hard to focus, but I get distracted and then it's very difficult for me to refocus. What should I do about this?" The doctor gives a slight smile and starts to explain, "What if I tell you about a science-backed protocol? I'll share something that will help you learn deep work, leading to such an improvement in your life that your productivity could increase by up to 400%. Think about how many levels of focus you could achieve. If I share these insights with you, you might be able to complete a month's worth of work in a single day." Sean responds, "Yes, doctor, please tell me what I can do. What should I do, step by step?" The doctor says, "I recently read a book related to this topic called Manage Your Day-to-Day by Jocelyn K. Glay. This book provides a solution to your problem." Jocelyn, who is essentially an author and a productivity expert herself, wrote this book by interviewing several other interesting productivity experts, such as Cal Newport. If you know him, he is the author of amazing books like Deep Work and Digital Minimalism, which are so good that they can't be ignored. She interviewed Tim Ferriss, who is a well-known podcaster and author, as well as James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, and Scott Young. With the help of these super achievers and interesting people, she wrote this book. Now, Sean says, "Sir, I've heard of Cal Newport, Tim Ferriss, and James Clear. I know about Atomic Habits, but who is Scott Young?" The doctor responds, "You don't know? Scott Young is also an author who has written amazing books like Ultra Learning and Get Better at Anything. Let me tell you how interesting he is. In 2013, when Scott Young wanted to learn Spanish, instead of attending lectures at a school, he went directly to Spain with a friend, where there was just one condition. They decided that for 3 months, they would not speak in English at all, and would only speak in Spanish. Initially, they faced a lot of difficulties, but by the end of the 3 months, they both learned to speak decent Spanish without any books, courses, or teachers. And it didn't stop there. In the same way, within a year, he also learned Portuguese, Mandarin, Chinese, and Korean. Scott Young is the same person who completed a 4-year MIT computer science curriculum in 1 year by using YouTube videos and MIT's free courses. Not only that, but he also improved his basic painting skills from here to here in just 30 days. In short, you could say Scott Young is a very interesting person who is highly skilled in learning and you could directly say is an expert in productivity. Now Sean finds all this information quite interesting. He says, wow, with so many great authors it must be amazing. Please start telling me their insights. The doctor, being playful, says, hold on a bit, be patient, I'll explain. The book I'm going to talk about today divides productivity into 3 phases. The first phase is preparation, the second is engage, and the third is sustain. This means what you need to do before starting work, what you should do while working, and what you need to do to sustainably and effectively continue that work in the long term. These are the 3 phases, which basically consist of 7 steps, 7 keys. If your energy is like a lock, these 7 steps are the keys to unlock it, and I will explain each one to you. Sean says, please sir, tell me. The doctor explains that in his mid-20s, Tim Ferriss, who is known as a successful entrepreneur and productivity hacker, was busy with several major projects. In the midst of his life and many tasks, he also started working on his first book, The 4-Hour Workweek. The purpose of the book was to share the unconventional strategies Tim Ferriss used to advance in his life so that people could create successful businesses just as he did. However, the issue was that he wasn't able to complete the project. Even after a long time, his book was still unfinished. Tim found himself in a tough situation. Although he was a productivity expert, this time was different. Since it was supposed to take him a whole month to write the manuscript, he decided he would finish it in just 1 day. He dedicated all his energy and focus to the book, and started eliminating distractions. Now, although he usually managed to get things done, the issue was that he needed to write not just any content, but content that would be impactful and change people's lives once published. And since he was a productivity expert, he had to write something powerful, but he wasn't able to accomplish this. Then, he started using the first strategy, which is key 1, set your sights. To achieve such a big task, Tim knew he needed to start with clear and specific goals. Just having the goal of finishing the book wouldn't be enough to complete it. At that point, he had already written 6 chapters, with 10 more chapters still remaining. It had taken him months to complete the 6 chapters, but instead of feeling daunted, Tim broke his goal down into smaller, manageable tasks. He planned to complete 2 chapters per hour for the next 5 hours. This way, he could finish his book within the day. By doing this, he essentially created a roadmap for his work, and this is the first key: setting clear goals. Without clear goals, even the best efforts can go to waste. The next step in his plan was to identify the most important tasks. He used the Pareto principle, which states that 80% of results come from 20% of the efforts. Thus, he focused on the most critical parts of his book, those sections that would deliver the most value to his readers. This became key number 2, the power of Pareto. Understanding that not all work is equal, Tim focused his energy on the sections of the book that would have the most impact. Once his goals were set and the crucial tasks identified, Tim moved on to the next key: batch processing, which is key number 3. Rather than working on the book sporadically or trying to complete it all at once, Tim used batch processing to group similar tasks together. He dedicated specific hours to different sections of the book, allowing him to work more efficiently and maintain a consistent flow. But the key that truly allowed him to finish his book in a single day was key number 4, focused isolation. To achieve this, Tim isolated himself from all distractions. He turned off his phone, disconnected from the internet, and created an environment where his only focus was the book. No emails, no messages, no social media, just pure, uninterrupted work. This is a technique that's difficult to master but incredibly effective once you do. Alongside focused isolation, the next key is to clear the clutter, key number 5. Tim made sure his workspace was clean and organized before he began writing. No unnecessary papers or items that could distract him were left around. By doing this, he cleared both his physical and mental space, allowing him to focus entirely on the task at hand. With these strategies in place, clear goals, identifying key tasks, batch processing, focused isolation, and the elimination of distractions and the Pomodoro technique, Sean managed to finish his project within the day. Key number 6, maintain energy levels. Throughout his intense workday, Sean paid close attention to his energy levels. He understood that pushing himself too hard without breaks would lead to burnout. To avoid this, he strategically incorporated breaks to recharge. These weren't just random pauses. He followed the Pomodoro technique, taking a 5-minute break after every 25 minutes of focused work. During these breaks, Sean would step away from his workspace, stretch, or take a short walk to keep his mind fresh. Maintaining energy levels is crucial for sustaining high productivity. Without proper management, your focus and output can deteriorate quickly, leading to mistakes and lower quality work. Finally, after completing the engage phase, we move on to the last phase, sustain. Key number 7, reflect and optimize. After finishing his project, Sean took time to reflect on his process. He assessed what worked well and what didn't. By doing this, he could identify areas where he could optimize his workflow. This reflection isn't just about feeling good about the work completed, it's a critical step to ensure that you can replicate and even improve upon your success in future projects. In conclusion, by following these 7 keys, set your sights, the power of Pareto, batch processing, focused isolation, clear the clutter, maintain energy levels, and reflect and optimize, you can significantly boost your productivity. You may not complete an entire month's work in a day every time, but by adopting these strategies, you can push your limits and achieve far more than you ever thought possible. Now, after hearing about this method, do you think it's possible to finish a month's worth of work in a day? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how to craft your success with Cashcraft.